Hello my hero, have a nice viewing dear. If you like the story, please like it and write your opinion in the comments, please.
I noticed the video on a random Tuesday, the kind of Tuesday where everything feels normal until it doesn't. It had 6,732 views when I opened the link. It had been posted anonymously on a fitness forum I used to moderate. Title: When Your Trainer Gets Revenge, the Hard Way. I clicked it out of curiosity. The thumbnail was grainy, a still from a home security cam. I recognized the room immediately. My home gym. My mat. My weights. And then the footage played. And I saw her. Layla. My wife. On all fours. Laughing. Wearing my hoodie, the one I kept in the corner of the gym for post-workouts. Her face was flushed, hair tied up. She looked younger, freer, like the version of her I hadn't seen in over a year. Then he stepped into frame. Darren. My personal trainer. He wore my sleeveless top, my branded shorts, even my damn lifting gloves. He flexed at the camera before dropping to his knees behind her. I couldn't move. I couldn't even blink. My pulse went ice cold. There was audio too. Muffled, but clear enough. You think he ever used this mat for real? Layla giggled. Darren laughed. Nah. Guy quit halfway through leg day and wanted a refund. Then, the worst part. He looked directly into the camera. Dead center. Smiled. And whispered, "Consider this your cancellation fee, Marcus." The video ended at exactly 7 minutes and 28 seconds. I sat there staring at my screen long after it went dark. My hands weren't shaking. My heart wasn't racing. It was something deeper than rage. Something heavier. Like betrayal had settled into my bones and turned them to stone. They thought I wouldn't find it. They thought I wouldn't see it. But I always see everything. Eventually. Darren wasn't just any trainer. He was a brand. Built like a Greek statue, full of motivational slogans and fake humility. 600,000 followers on Instagram, a supplement line, and a subscription-based workout app that charged people $149 a month for recycled circuits and exclusive coaching videos. He sold alpha energy in a plastic bottle. And for a while I bought it. Layla actually found him first. She followed him on TikTok for his Shred Weeks and Couples Core Challenges. When I tore my ACL during a pickup game, she suggested I hire him. You need someone to push you, she said. Someone who gets results. I laughed. You just want to meet the guy who lives shirtless on your For You page. She didn't deny it. Still, I hired him. 3 sessions a week. Private home training. He showed up with protein shakes, too much cologne, and a camera crew, because apparently everything had to be documented. For content. At first I played along. Let him film. Let him shout over techno music while I pushed through deadlifts. He had charisma, sure. But he had ego too, the kind that filled every room and left no space for anyone else. Eventually, I started skipping sessions. I was working longer hours, trying to close a deal that could land my firm a multi-million-dollar contract. Darren started pushing harder. More aggressive with texts. Passive-aggressive comments during the sessions I did attend. You always this soft, bro? No wonder she looks bored half the time. Real power doesn't clock out early. Layla thought it was funny. She'd laugh from the kitchen. He's just motivating you, she said. Yeah. Motivating me to fire his ass. So I did. I told him straight up. Your price isn't worth the performance. You're out. He smirked. Figures. Quitting's always been your brand. I thought that was the end of it. I thought I'd go back to a quieter routine, and he'd go back to doing burpees for likes. I didn't think he'd screw my wife on my gym mat and leak it to the internet. I didn't think he'd do it in my gear. And I definitely didn't think she'd go along with it. But now that I knew, now that I'd seen, I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to fight him in public. I was going to destroy them. Both. Quietly. Strategically. Completely. I didn't sleep that night. I watched the video again, twice, not because I hated myself, but because I needed to memorize every detail. Every angle. Every timestamp. Every arrogant smirk Darren threw at the camera like he'd already won. I wasn't broken. I was calculating. Because here's what he didn't know. I built the security system in that house myself. High-res, encrypted, motion-triggered backups. Everything stored in a private cloud only I had access to. That video? He didn't hack it. He used my login. Which meant he didn't just screw my wife, he committed digital theft and broadcast it across a monetized platform. Felony-level charges, if I wanted to press. And Layla? She signed a privacy waiver when we installed those cameras. We both did. Consent-based recordings. Legal. Watertight. They thought I was soft. That I'd melt under humiliation. But I didn't melt. I sharpened. First move, I took screenshots of every place the video had been uploaded. Fitness forums. Reddit threads. A few low-tier gossip sites that covered influencer drama. I flagged the video. Filed DMCA claims. Contacted their platforms. But I wasn't trying to erase it. No. I was tracing it. Next, I reached out to a copyright attorney I knew through a client. I told her I had proof a fitness influencer was profiting off unauthorized use of my likeness and intellectual property, my home gym, my equipment, my brand logo that happened to be in the corner of the frame on the mat. You want to hurt someone who lives online? You don't unplug them. You copyright strike them until every platform drops them like a virus. Within 48 hours, his video was pulled from 4 sites. His TikTok account flagged. Instagram? Shadow banned. YouTube? Monetization revoked pending investigation. His supplement sponsors started backing away the moment they saw the cease and desist. Then I leaked something of my own. A Reddit post. Anonymous, but very detailed. I told the story of how my trainer betrayed a married client, used private footage for clout, and wore his clothes to do it. I included a few blurred screenshots, not enough to get sued, just enough to spark outrage. The internet loves a scandal. By the end of the week, Darren's name was a trending hashtag, for all the wrong reasons. Layla's social accounts went private. She stopped showing up at her Pilates studio. And I just waited. Because I wasn't done yet. This wasn't about revenge porn. This was about legacy. And I was about to erase his. The real nail in the coffin came from a contract buried deep in my inbox. Darren had signed a media release waiver when we filmed promo content together early on, those staged trainer versus client clips for his app. I remembered his cocky signature at the bottom of the PDF. But what he didn't realize was that the contract worked both ways. Meaning, I own partial rights to any content filmed using my likeness, my gym, or my equipment. So when he leaked that video, he didn't just humiliate me. He violated our contract. I sent the footage, watermarked, timestamped, and logged, to my lawyer. Then I sent it to every sponsor Darren had ever bragged about. Hi. As a courtesy, I'm sharing footage your ambassador uploaded using private equipment and likeness he did not have full rights to. Please consult Section 4B of the enclosed agreement. I will be pursuing damages. 3 days later, I got a one-line reply from one of his biggest sponsors. Thank you for alerting us. We've terminated our partnership with Mr. Hale, effective immediately. By the end of the week, 4 more followed. His protein line pulled his name. His app was pulled from the marketplace. Even his verified checkmark disappeared. The internet chews up scandals quickly, but the fitness industry? They bury reputational risk like a disease. And Layla? She finally reached out. Blocked on my phone, she used her sister's number. Can we talk? Please. I didn't reply. She emailed next. Long messy? The kind of message someone writes at 3 a.m. after watching their entire life unravel. She wrote about how Darren made her feel seen. How she didn't realize what she was doing, how she was trapped in his orbit. She swore it wasn't about revenge, that she didn't know he was recording. Then, the kicker. I never stopped loving you. I stared at the screen. And I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was pathetic. She made her choice. And now she had to sit in it. Just like Darren had to sit in the ashes of his fitness empire. I didn't scream. I didn't punch. I didn't post rants or call lawyers on live streams. I stayed calm. And I ended them. Legally. Efficiently. Publicly. Because I didn't just lose a trainer. I didn't just lose a wife. I cut dead weight. And came back stronger. 6 months later, I was back in shape. Not just physically, I mean mentally, emotionally, financially. My mornings were quiet again. No cameras in my face. No fake, bro, energy in my house. No wife pretending to love me while laughing at me behind my back. I had rebuilt everything. I switched to a new gym across town. Low-key old school. No ring lights or posing mirrors. Just metal plates, chalk, and silence. The kind of place where no one cares how many followers you have, only how much you can lift. It was on a Tuesday morning mid-set when I saw him. Darren. He walked in like he used to, shoulders puffed, chest out, still trying to project alpha even though his empire had crumbled. No film crew. No entourage. Just him and a tattered duffel bag. Our eyes met. And I saw it. The recognition. The hesitation. The quiet shame that comes when a man realizes the guy he tried to humiliate is the one standing tall while he's crawling back to normalcy. I didn't look away. I didn't nod. I just kept benching. He moved to the far corner of the gym like I was radioactive. He didn't say a word. And I liked it that way. The thing about people like Darren is, they rely on noise. Drama. Attention. But when the world stops looking, when the spotlight fades, they have nothing. Me? I don't need noise anymore. A few weeks later, I started training with someone new, Leah. Former MMA fighter. No tolerance for BS. She corrected my form during a set one day and said, "You've got control issues. But I like it. Means you've seen some S***T. I laughed. You have no idea. We got coffee after a few sessions. Then lunch. Then one night she kissed me in the parking lot and said, "Whoever hurt you must have been out of her damn mind." I didn't tell her everything. Not yet. But I told her enough. Enough to know she didn't flinch when I said, "I've been betrayed before." She just smiled and said, "Good. Now you know what it looks like." I haven't heard from Layla since her last email. Her accounts are gone, her friends unfollowed me, and rumor has it she moved out of state. Probably trying to outrun her own reflection. Darren? Still shows up sometimes. Keeps his head down. Quiet. Defeated. I don't have to do anything. His fall is playing on loop in his own head. And me? I built a new body. A new mindset. A new standard. Because I didn't just win. I evolved. And now? Every time I drop weight on that bar, I remember exactly who I was when it all started. And exactly who I've become now that it's over. 1 year to the day since that video hit the internet, I got a package. No name. No return address. Just a small, square black box on my doorstep. I brought it inside, set it on the kitchen counter, and stared at it for a long time. Part of me already knew what was inside. The weight of it felt too familiar. Personal. I opened the lid slowly. Inside was my old wedding ring. The one I left in the bathroom sink the night I walked out. It had a deep scratch on the edge now, like it had been dropped. Mishandled. Beneath it, a note. Just one sentence. Her handwriting. "I'm sorry you had to find out that way." That way. Not, "I'm sorry I did it." Not, "I'm sorry I destroyed us." Just that way. Even after everything, she still couldn't face what she'd done. I folded the note and placed it back in the box. Closed the lid. Tossed it into the trash without another thought. That chapter was dead. And I wasn't in the business of reading ghosts. Later that night, Leah and I were at her apartment. She'd just gotten back from teaching a self-defense seminar, her arms sore, tank top streaked with sweat. She collapsed on the couch beside me, kicked her legs over my lap, and groaned. "Remind me why I thought breaking boards in front of teenagers was a good idea?" I smiled. "Because you're a masochist who likes applause." She laughed. "Guilty." Then she looked at me, really looked, and said, "You've been quiet all night." I hesitated. Thought about telling her. About the ring. The note. The old wound trying to reopen itself for one last gasp of air. But I didn't. Because none of it mattered anymore. Instead, I looked at her and said, "Do you believe in rebirth?" She raised an eyebrow. "Like phoenixes and ashes?" "Yeah," I said. "But quieter. Like when a man watches his whole life burn, and instead of screaming, he walks through the smoke, and keeps going." She leaned in, resting her forehead against mine. "Then yeah, I believe in that." I kissed her. Slow. Certain. Like I meant it. Because I did. And in that moment I knew. That Jim? That Matt? That video? That betrayal? They weren't the end of my story. They were just the burn that forged the steel. And now? I don't train for revenge. I train for me. Because I didn't just reclaim my strength. I became the kind of man no one could break again.